one of the things that makes history real for people is when they can see objects that were part of that history, right?
Look at that baby face.
I can't believe that anybody would entrust somebody that young with anything, much less a seat in the U.S. Senate. When I look at this young man in the picture, I think I'm glad that he was idealistic enough to think that he could actually pull it off.
From the Senate to the White House and the journey along the way, former President Barack Obama cementing his legacy with the groundbreaking of his presidential center.
Just talk about the importance of having your center here, not just in Chicago, but the south side of Chicago.
Well, we are sitting in the South Shore Cultural Center where Michelle and I had our reception after our wedding almost 30 years ago. My announcement for my first political office was right down the street. You've got the hospital where my daughters were born. Just about everything that's important to me in my life started here.
The center, a blueprint for success. The vision crafted alongside the former First Lady. It's the Obamas' ambitious promise to uplift their South Side community.
The idea was to build a campus where we could not only talk about my presidency, but more importantly, create a living, breathing institution that was helping to train and promote and encourage young leaders and citizens to get involved, be active, and be effective change agents in the world.
By his side during his time in office, Joe Biden, who's now facing multiple challenges in his first year, an ongoing pandemic, a crisis at the border, and a battle over his infrastructure proposal.
This is a really important moment in his administration, needing to pass comprehensive legislation. How do you think he is handling this particular moment?
The Build Back America program is something that America desperately needs. It's got a headline price tag of $3.5 trillion, but that's not a single year. This is spread out over a number of years. And most importantly, it's paid for by asking the wealthiest of Americans to pay a few percentage points more in taxes in order to make sure that we have an economy that's fair for everybody. So,
but should they be concerned that that's how they're going to have to pay for it?
They can afford it. We can afford it. I put myself in this category now. I think anybody who pretends that it's a hardship for billionaires to pay a little bit more in taxes so that a single mom gets child care support, or so that we can make sure that our communities aren't inundated by wildfires and floods, and we're doing something about climate change for the next generation, that's an argument that is unsustainable.
The other big story, the images coming out from the border in Texas with the Haitian immigrants. In 2010, when they had that devastating earthquake, your administration allowed Haitians under a special temporary legal status here in the U.S. But now we're seeing, under the current administration, sending them back to an island in crisis. How do you square what we're seeing right now?
Immigration is tough. It always has been, because on the one hand, I think we are naturally a people that wants to help others. At the same time, we're a nation state. We have borders. The idea that we can just have open borders is something that I think, as a practical matter, is unsustainable. The way we solve this problem is to have a smarter, more efficient, more effective immigration system.
Having been in the White House for 8 years, when you are turning on the news, how do you handle it?
We've gone through really tough times in this country. Much worse than this. I think the most important thing for us to do is not be complacent. It starts with each of us deciding, here's where I can make a difference. In this neighborhood, this school, this community, this city.
Which is exactly why he and his wife, Michelle, have made it their mission to invest in their community. According to the Obama Foundation, the project is estimated to generate $3.1 billion in economic impact and bring 700,000 visitors to the area each year to stimulate additional economic growth.
I am always have been a believer that the space that we live in and move in affects our moods, our spirits, our dreams. And we think that this center, in a community that so oftentimes is reported on as what's wrong with it, that this gives people an opportunity to say, we matter, we count.
Their goal, to bring change and hope to the South Side, a community that has been plagued by gun violence.
When you hear about Chicago, that's the first thing. How do we change that?
Well, look, violent crime and violence generally in low-income communities, inner city communities in America is nothing new. But Chicago alone can't stop the easy access and flood of guns into these communities. But what we can do is potentially give young people the sense that there's another way for them to empower themselves other than wielding a gun.
Empowering young men and women is exactly what the Obamas plan to achieve with their new presidential center, set to be completed by 2025.
What's most important for your next act?
The single most important thing I can do is grab the next 1,000 or 10,000 or 100,000 or million Baracks and Michelles and maybe make the path just a little easier for them to make a difference. And if the center and the foundation that we put together is helping to plant that seed and empower a whole next generation of young leaders, that's a better and more important legacy to me than anything I got done by myself.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.